Hey guys, I want to talk about why I do not free feed my dogs, as well as why I do not recommend free feeding to my clients. So when a dog is free fed, there's a couple of things that happen in general. One, the dog tends to have less food drive. They know that they can eat whenever they want. That food's going to be available whenever they want. So they don't generally have a great food drive to want to work for the food from you because the food's just always available whenever they feel like it. I can almost always tell when a dog is free fed when it comes to an evaluation, because generally the dogs that come that are free fed that don't take the food that we use in the evaluation most of the time. And even if I have a dog who's not free fed at home and it's a little bit more nervous in the evaluation, it will usually take food better than a dog who's free fed at home. So it's one thing, is the food doesn't have as much value coming from you because the dog knows it can just have it whenever. Another reason I don't like to free feed is when I feed my dogs, if I have a dog who refuses to eat, that tells me good information, and it tells me that information pretty quickly. If I have a dog who normally eats his food right away, like say my Malinois who eats his dinner like he's never going to see food again, and he says one night he's not going to eat, that to me is a big red flag that I probably need to make a vet appointment for him. But if I just randomly filled up the bowl once in a while whenever he just kind of ate and he went off, I may not notice that as quickly. Particularly, I may not notice it as quickly if I have multiple dogs who are free feeding, because the other dogs are probably just going to eat the bowl down anyhow, and I may or may not know which dog is eating how much food. So I may or may not notice right away if that dog goes off their food for whatever reason. So it's another reason I don't like to free feed dogs. Another one is with free feeding is free fed dogs aren't 100% going to happen to this, but there's a good chance that a free fed dog is going to be overweight because they're going to be eating as much food as they can. Some dogs are excellent at self-regulating, and this does not happen to them. So this is not something that happens all the time, but a good number of the dogs I meet who are that way are dogs who just kind of just allowed to eat whenever. So there's a couple of reasons there why I don't like to free feed dogs. Again, the dogs have less value for the food, so it's a little bit harder to train with them. Actually, a lot of times it's a lot harder to train with them because they aren't valuing the food that's coming from us. I don't know when my dog necessarily goes off food right away, particularly if I have multiple dogs in the house. So that's a red flag for me to consider my dog going to the vet. And not all, but a good amount of free-fed dogs end up overweight because they can just eat as much as they want. So when we do the training here in our training system, I teach all my clients to go, if they're free feeding, to go to a structured feeding. And how does that look? Well, you're going to see that in the next video.